Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everybody doing today? How's it going? Not as much wind today. The wind is less than it was yesterday. It's a little bit cooler here today than it was yesterday. When I got out of my car, it said 87 degrees. It's much cooler on this side than on the side of Redwood City of where I live. It's well into the 90s over there. Here it's like 87 because we're right by the bay. Anyway, I'm out and about. Another walk with purpose. Episode number 756. And I hope you've all been having a phenomenal day. It's been a very I don't know if I'd say relaxing day. I mean, it's been relaxing. I had some things to do with Dawn, little maintenance around the house. Well, lots of maintenance. There's always lots of maintenance going on. And yeah, I got up early. I got up early around 4 in the morning. Did a bunch of work, then took a nap around 10 a.m. for a few hours. Then I got back up again, and I've been grinding things out ever since. Interesting. Right when I come, all the cars start to pull in and out of everywhere. Just my luck. Hey, Richard T, how you doing? Richard T, your topic request has been granted, man. It's going to be a very interesting show because I'm going to be talking about the Biden-Trump debate that happened a few days ago. And I'm going to be comparing it to the drama groups out here on YouTube. That's the topic of today's Walking with Purpose episode number 756. Howdy, AZ Prod. How you doing? How's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. Yeah, I already posted on my community wall one of the lines that Joe Biden said to Donald Trump. Well, it was how he responded. He called Donald Trump a whiner. And, when I first heard that part of the debate, I mean, I've heard it a few times. I mean, I heard the whole thing, and then I went and heard clips again of it, because, I will watch the whole thing, and then I will listen to the abridged version, the clipped version. CNN made a clipped version of it as well, and I just put out the full thing because I didn't see it live. And the part where Biden called Donald Trump a whiner, I had to go play that for Dawn. I said, babe, let me interrupt your show. This is work that she was cracking up. It was kind of like two kids, like, trashing each other in the playground of like grammar school. Now, I will say this. Let me first start off by saying that even though I'm a slight left liberal, and yes, I did vote for Joe Biden, and I've always voted for the Democratic Party, that doesn't mean my opinions are biased based on my political party preference. I want to make it very clear before I get into this here today, because I have a lot of conservative supporters here. I actually think I have more conservative supporters here than liberal supporters, or, than Democrats, more Republican supporters than Democrats, right? Also known as more conservatives here than liberals, right? My views, like I've always said, are more so centered down the middle. I've always said I identify myself as somebody who's slightly on the left. I'm a slight left liberal, but I'm more so down the middle. I like some views on the left and the right, and other views on the left and the right I can't stand. But what I can't stand the most is extremism one way or the other. I don't like the radical left or the radical, they call it the radical left and the extreme right, which is also, in my opinion, known as, you know, the alt-right. The alt-right, which pretty much, I consider anyone that supports Trump not a real conservative. I consider you, in my opinion, to be alt-right because Trump's a fake conservative. Trump is more really Trump was always a liberal. He was always a Democrat. But he was never ever going to beat any other Democrat and get in the office. So he had to switch parties and pretend to be a conservative. And all you conservatives out there, you know that. You absolutely know that Trump is a fake conservative. Now, if you want to support him, that's on you. I'm not bashing you. I'm just stating my opinions. I don't see Tia here. Hi, Z Prob, Richard and Eli. Hey, Tia, how you doing? Now, please, folks, I hope no one takes offense to what I say here today. I'm just sharing my thoughts and my opinions on stuff, right? Richard T requested this, and I wanted to talk about this for a while. I was going to do this from the studio, but I figured, you know, screw it. Let's do it from a walk, okay? Let's do it from a walk. And let's incorporate it with something that makes a lot of sense that we've been talking a lot about. These drama groups on YouTube are no different than the behavior of Donald Trump and partially Joe Biden. I honestly think both of them, during the debate and during this entire campaign period, I honestly think both of them have been attacking below the belt, and they both have been acting very childish. And I've come to the conclusion that Biden is doing it because Trump is doing it. And the reason why Trump is doing it is because drama sells. And Trump knows the modern world tunes in when there's drama happening. They drop everything for drama. So Trump is thinking, my best chance of winning this election is to create so much fucking drama that it gets more eyes on me, right? And then when I get more eyes on me for creating the drama, I can relate to the people that love the drama. An example, these people out here on YouTube that, hey, good job. So far, you guys are somewhat starving me out. I wouldn't say you're fully starving me out. I still think you're trying to do underhanded bullshit like you're doing with RJ Sandifer, but hey, we let RJ go. You can have RJ. If you don't know who RJ Sandifer is and you're new here, don't worry about it, but the people that have been here for a while know who I'm talking about. So, yes, you can have RJ, it's all good, right? But the bottom line is that a lot of these people in these drama groups are more conservative. Like, I would say like 90+% of them are Trump supporters. One interesting number that I've seen out here on YouTube throughout these groups I have participated through. The majority of people are conservatives or fake conservatives, and they're Trump supporters, right? And then I started to wonder, what's really going on? Are there no liberals on YouTube? Is that why my business is suffering? Because I'm slightly on the left? And it's not that I don't agree with any conservative views. I agree with some, but I disagree with others. But sometimes I agree with some liberal views that these conservatives despise. And they don't realize that, hey, I'm not about left versus right. I'm about what makes sense. I'm about the best overall interest for everyone. And that's how Joe Biden is. Again, to remind you folks, I've said it many times, I'll say it again. When Joe Biden was running and was running in 2020 and won, he said, I'm not just the president for Democrats, I'm the president for all Americans. Okay? You're not going to hear Donald Trump say that. Donald Trump is a selfish prick, in my opinion. I'm not saying that because I'm a slight left liberal. If Donald Trump was running as a Democrat, I would more than likely vote Republican. So if you guys think that I'm being biased because I'm looking at it as left versus right, no. I'm coming out here right now and saying I have an issue with Donald J. Trump. I think he's a phony. I think he's a fraud. I think he's a liar. He's a convicted felon. He's a woman abuser. He plays the system. He's a drama queen. I wouldn't even call him a drama king. He's a drama queen. Biden said that he's a whiner. He's a big whiner. Wasted so much time and money and government resources after he lost the election in 2020, trying to say there was widespread voter fraud, which there wasn't, right? And because of that, Biden called him a whiner, and I agree. Trump, you're a fucking whiner. You're a whiner. And you're going to be whining once again later on in November when, again, you lose to Biden for the second time. And even CNN was asking him, because this was a CNN debate. CNN, like, pretty much hosts everything. They're the best. I love CNN. Even though sometimes they get it wrong, everyone gets it wrong, I like CNN. They're my favorite news station. They were asking Trump, are you going to accept the election results this time around? And Trump danced around it for a second, and then he said, well, if everything is done fairly, of course. Well, Trump, why would everything not be done fairly? Like, Jesus Christ, man. Do you know what the penalty is if these people that are counting ballots and processing ballots and stuff, and pretty much most of it's electronic, right? Do you know if they rig the votes, that's a serious federal crime. I mean, why would people do that? Why would people risk ruining their lives by committing a federal crime like that? This is a great topic for a nice walk. Thank you, Jigwalk. How you doing? Hey, Lucy, how are you? No such thing as drama king, all queens. You're right, AZ Prod. You're right about that. Yes, lying Biden. No kind truth. High kind truth, no lies. Phony, fraud, liar. Are you talking about Biden? Listen, they've all made mistakes, including Biden. Every person on the planet has done something wrong. But no one has done more wrong than Trump. No one has played the system more than Trump. No one has gotten away with more shit than Trump has. And I'm really sorry that you folks really support him. That's fine. You have the right to support who you want to support. But here's the thing. There are some great points throughout the debate, right? And Trump was saying that if he wins the election, between the time that he wins and inauguration, he'll have the Russia-Ukraine war ended, right? he'll have it ended, right? And Ukraine's saying, hey, look, if there's a way to end this right now, why don't you tell us right now, Trump? If there's a way to end this right now, why don't you tell us? Why do you have to wait until you win the election? You see, those are the games that Trump is playing. That's bullshit. There is no answer to it. The way Joe Biden has handled helping Ukraine in this situation has been the right thing to do. Has it cost us a lot of money? Absolutely. But the U.S. is the only country that has enough power to help other countries being attacked by Russia. Russia is pretty much the second most powerful country in the world, the U.S. #1. So if the U.S. pulls out funding and support with troops to help Ukraine against this stupid-ass war by Russia, then boom, there goes Ukraine. And not only that, other surrounding countries are going to get swallowed up by some fucking lame-ass dictator Putin that Donald Trump thinks can convince to do the right thing. Donald Trump thinks he has a great relationship with Putin. Come on, Trump. Who the hell do you think you are, dude? Trump thinks that he can control Putin. He thinks that he can end this war between the time he wins the election that he claims he's going to win in November and the inauguration date in January. What is it, January 20th, I believe? Okay. Those are some big fucking words, and I'm sitting there listening to this guy. I'm like, dude, you're a fucking actor, dude. This is not The Apprentice, man. This is real life. This is not The Apprentice. You're fired. This is not You're fired, Trump. This is not an act. Sifu Smo, how you doing? Hey, good to see you, bro. I haven't seen you around in a while. What's going on? Queen, come in, please. Let me see here. Jig is really disgusting. I don't blame you. Like, what are you talking about? Damn, Eli. Where's Queen Helen Casey? I don't know. I support Eli and GLM, says Sifu Smo. Good to see you, GLM, says Sifu Smo. We should take care of our own first, in my opinion. The Biden administration don't want it to end. They profit from keeping. I'm sorry, Lucy. I know you've supported the channel a lot, and if this changes your support, then that's fine. I completely disagree with you folks. You folks don't understand that if we pull out of Ukraine, we pull out our support, Ukraine is done. And then Russia starts to swallow up neighboring countries. And if you don't think that's going to cause World War III, see, Trump is thinking that if we keep doing what Biden is doing, we're going to cause World War III. No, it's quite the opposite. If we don't do what Biden's doing to save Ukraine and to teach Russia a lesson and to stop Russia dead in their tracks, they're going to swallow up everyone and destroy us too. How come you people can't see that and use your fucking common sense? Listen, I love all of you. I love every single person here. But this would affect us too if we didn't go there and support Ukraine. You guys are worried about the money we're spending, the billions of dollars we're spending now. We've had no choice but to do that. How come you folks can't see the trickle-down effect if we don't do what Biden's doing and keep doing it. Let's just hand Putin, let's say, okay, this is President Biden. Listen, Putin, this is Biden. We're just going to give you the Ukraine. You have to sign off a document saying that you're not going to take any other countries out, and this ends here, and you have to sign that there's no World War III going to happen. It doesn't work like that. Putin's fucking nuts. He's crazy. He's a dictator. He's like another Hitler. You can't reason with a guy like that. So when we compare it from the Legion, like I'm comparing this today. You know, I'm comparing the Biden-Trump debate to the drama groups of YouTube. Compare Vlad Putin to Jamie. There's no reasoning with either one of them. So you got to tackle it head on. Joe Biden is doing exactly what I had to do to get past this drama group for 6 years that was hindering my success out here. Joe Biden is doing the same thing. There's no reasoning with Vlad Putin. No reasoning. How come you folks don't understand that? Putin drinks a lot of strong vodka. Yep, Biden. Okay. I disagree with all of you that are going against Biden. Now let me ask you, because here's the thing. This is the problem, right? The conservatives have a louder voice on social media. The liberals stay away from it, right? So my audience here right now, I guarantee you, like 95% of the people in here watching this show are conservative, right? Because the conservatives have the biggest voice, because the conservatives have been so silenced in the past that they feel the need to come on these platforms and defend themselves. The liberals are just like, fuck it. It is what it is, right? We're not going to waste our breath. We know it's bullshit. But we're not going to go in there and waste our breath against people that are unreasonable, right? That's the truth of the matter. That's my opinion, right? But here's another thing Joe Biden said. And listen, forget about the political parties. Joe Biden was saying, well, actually, Donald Trump is saying that our country is in bad shape. Our country, is in big trouble, or I forgot exactly how he was saying it, okay? He was saying that our country's falling apart. That's what our country's falling apart, right? And then Biden came back and said something that made perfect sense. There's never been any other president in the history of our country here in the U.S. that's ever spoken that way about our country. Ever. There's never been any other president. Oh yeah, Biden, this is what he said. This is what Trump said. He said our country's failing. Our country's failing. No other president in history has ever said our country's failing. It's not the right way to look at it, even if we're having some issues. What a negative motherfucker that dude is. A negative dude. You can't fight a problem by, pouring more fuel on it with negativity. You gotta put the fire out with water. So even if there's a problem, you don't come out there and say our country's failing, right? You come out and you say, hey, there are some things that we need to work on. Some things need to change. We need to do some things better, right? But this Donald Trump dude has no filter. He's when you're in the most prestigious position of the country or of the world, pretty much, You gotta have some kind of professional filter. That guy has no fucking filter. Lacks professionalism. It's failing. The truth is the truth. Who would win at golf, Trump or Biden? I don't give a shit about who would win a golf match between Biden and Trump. I don't care about them playing golf. I don't care. I mean, I thought it was stupid. Listen, I thought it was stupid for Biden to even try to, challenge Trump to a golf match. Like, come on, dude. Listen, I'll give Biden shit too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here, I'm not here to say that everything Biden does is right. That wouldn't be the truth. And there are issues with Biden too, but there are way more issues with Trump. And we would have way more issues globally if Trump got into office. We would have World War III if Trump got into office. If Trump happens to win, which I doubt he's going to win. I mean, if we put in a convicted felon, what was it, 34 counts I think it was? If we put a convicted felon into office, what kind of a message are we sending to our people? That, okay, we can go and break the fucking law and we're just going to slap you on the wrist, right? Right? Think about that. Like, I'm just keeping it real, folks. Look, listen, I respect it. Listen, I love people regardless. I know there are many people supporting Trump here, right? It's all good. I still have love for you. I just disagree with you. But it's more about the principle of the matter. It's more about the principle of the matter. And here's the thing. I think what you folks should appreciate is the fact that there aren't really many liberals, even a slight left liberal like me, coming out here and giving you the opposite perspective. Because a lot of them, I'm sorry to say this, a lot of them either don't have the balls to do it or just don't want to waste their time with nonsense. And I can't blame them for not wanting to waste their time with nonsense. But for me, I'm a fighter. I always fight. See, for me, I love everyone. I don't care if you're on the left or the right or down the middle. I love all of you. I care about what's best for the overall aspect of everyone. And again, let's say Donald Trump was running as a liberal, as a Democrat. I would vote Republican, and I'm a liberal. I'm a slight left liberal. If Donald Trump was running as his real party, because he's really a Democrat, he changed because he was never gonna be supported by or get voted in as a Democrat. So he had to go to the other side, where he could basically, play the conservatives, and that's what he's done. He's played the conservatives. He's played the conservatives. That's honestly what I think has happened, in my opinion. How is Kamala Harris? Is she any good? Of course she is. Like, what are you asking specifically? CNN is not a good source of reliable news. Well, neither is Fox News, Lucy. Neither is Fox News. I don't watch CNN to believe everything they say. But I watched the debate on CNN. They ran the debate. Right? Right? You got to watch the debate somewhere, right? They just happen to be the ones sponsoring it, hosting it, right? Okay? And I'll listen to the commentary on both sides. And I don't necessarily agree with everything CNN does, even though CNN's more of the left-leaning news and Fox News is more of the right-leaning news, right? I don't believe most of what both news outlets state. I don't believe it at all. Not at all, but most, right? What I do is I tune in to hear what they say. I tune in to hear the debate or to hear the news story, and then I'll hear their commentary and I'll make my own assessment, right? And then I can do a show and say, hey, look, here's what I think happened. Here's what I think about Fox News' response versus CNN's response. And here's why I think this is all bullshit, because it's all for money. The whole thing's for money. It's all controlled for money. And that's what it is with Trump. With Trump, this is Trump. Trump was saying in the debate, he was like, I wasn't even going to run, but he changed his mind because of all the stuff going on with Biden. He goes, oh well, I could be other places and in nicer places doing nicer things, like playing golf, right? Like Trump playing golf during the last 2 months of your term because you lost, playing golf instead of helping out with a big pandemic that was killing a lot of people. And what happened? Joe Biden came in, got everyone vaccinated, and what happened? We're back to normal now. We acted quickly, and a lot of people are saying the COVID was fake. If COVID was fake, then how did a ton of people die? There were 1 million people that died over this in the U.S. or more? It was not fake. Biden stepped in before inauguration and did what Trump should have done. Trump was out at Mar-a-Lago playing golf. I don't give a shit. This whole thing is not real, right? That's what he's saying. He was saying, I don't give a shit. I'm going to go play golf. I don't understand. Listen, support who you want to support. Support whoever you want to support. I'm not here to shame you. I'm not here to tell you who to support. But how can you support someone that's out playing golf during a time where people are dying and we're trying to get out vaccines to save people's lives? We were all on lockdown and the guy's out playing golf. How the hell do you respect that? I don't get that. I don't get it. Protocols in the hospital. You are putting words in his mouth. Are you guys talking in the chat? Jigwork, I will support whoever wins. Every American should support the president, no matter which party. Protocols in the hospital? Oh, okay. I'd like to see a good independent make the debates in 2028. Yeah, well, let's see what happens, Anyway, yeah, we have a nice breeze again today out here. It is not as bad on the trail as it was on the other side of town. Even though we've been having these massive heat waves coming here on this trail, man, it's probably like, it was 89, I think, when I got out of the car. And now, or 87 or something like that. And now it feels like it's in the lower 80s, like 82 or 83. It's a big difference. And you can see, like right here, you can see we got wind, which is cool. And the wind is coming right off the water, which starts over there, and that's where the SF base starts over there. When I get to the observation deck, that right there is the water that takes you over to the SF bay. I'll spend a little time on the observation deck. I have a little bit of time today. I really want to make it clear to everyone that I'm not here to bash anyone. I do love everyone here, and we are grateful for your support. But here's the thing that we have to get better at in this world is we have to get better at respectfully disagreeing, okay? Just because I don't agree with most of you here doesn't mean that I don't like you. I love all of you. I think you're all good people. We just have a difference of opinion, right? We have different political views. We feel that there's a different or better way to do it than the other side, right? And that's okay. And here's the thing. This is another reason why I don't like talking about politics that much, because I don't want to upset anyone. I love all of you. You're all good people, right? I'm just stating my opinions, and I'm a pretty hardcore opinion stater. You folks know that about me. And listen, even though we may disagree on a lot of stuff here, and there are probably some people that agree, but a lot of you disagree. I get it. There's more of an active conservative audience out here and a Trump supporting audience. I get that. Even though we disagree, it's okay. It's totally okay. Eli, we are not upset. No, I get it, Lucy. I'm just making my statement. No, I appreciate that, Lucy. I just want to make my statement and say, what I care about is what's best for everyone. I don't like the political party system. I don't like the fighting. I don't like the Democrats versus Republicans. I don't like this shit. I don't. I don't like the stuff that's happened in Russia and what they've done to Ukraine. Because they got some crazy lunatic president there who's a freaking dictator who might as well be named Hitler Jr. You've got Hitler Jr. in Russia that has no care for humanity, right? Like, honestly, I think the only person, in my opinion, worse than Trump is Putin. But Trump thinks that he can end the war. So once he claims that he's going to win the election in November, between the time he wins, supposedly, and Inauguration Day, he's going to have the war ended? How the hell are you going to do that, Donald? Donnie, how are you going to do that? Again, you're going to pick up the red phone that they don't have access to because you're not in office. Do you have a direct line to Putin? You're going to call him on his cell and say, "Hey, Putin, this is Trump. How's it going, bud? Listen, I'm going to hop on to I'm going to hop on one of my planes and I'm going to head over to Russia and just make sure you guys don't shoot down my plane. We're going to go out and have some beers, buddy, right? We're going to talk, right, buddy? Buddy, I'll buy you beers, whatever you want, buddy, right? Is that, like, how are you going to do this, Donald? Like seriously, that's a ridiculous promise. And again, Ukraine's saying, hey, Donald, if you have the answer to any of this, why do you have to wait till November? That could get more people killed. That could cost the U.S. more money. Donald Trump is a fucking hypocrite. So if you have the answer now, which you don't, it's a bullshit ploy, right? If you have the answer now on what's going to end the war, why wait until November? That's like 4 months away. And you're complaining that we're losing lots of money, Donald. You're complaining that we've lost lots of lives and money. Well, if you have the power to end it now, why wait? That's a good question. That's a good question by Ukraine. What's his damn name? The president, Zelensky, right? Zelensky, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I can never pronounce that dude's name. Zelensky's like, Donnie, if you have the answer, then why wait till November? I mean, let me ask you, Trump supporters, is that a fair question? That's a fair question. He wants to use that as his way to try to win the election. You can't make a promise like that. Trump, are you blackmailing Putin? Like, unless Trump is blackmailing Putin, and he wants to play his blackmail, right? Oh man, this is and I'm watching all this stuff. I'm watching Tim Pool, an American journalist. I've been following him for a while. He used to be a liberal, now he's a conservative too. They've all, ever since Trump came on board in 2016, all these liberals have flipped to conservative, and they become Trump supporters all of a sudden. It's like they want to leverage the traction that the audience has, because there's a more active conservative and Trump alt-right audience on social media, including YouTube, than liberals. And so these guys would sell out. They would sell their own fucking souls just to make money. I'm keeping it real. I'm sorry, folks. If you don't like my opinions, it's all good. But I'm just sharing what I've seen. I hope, even if you disagree with me, I'm hoping this is interesting to listen to at least. Trump takes 2 Viagra every day. Biden don't even need Viagra. He still gets it. He still gets it up naturally. I mean, dude, is that what this is all boiling down to? It's like you got 2 grown-ass men on the biggest stage of our country, the biggest stage of the world practically, right? You got these 2 grown-ass men at the highest level of our country, right? And probably the world, right? Because we're the most powerful country, right? And these guys are acting like little kids. It's like a fucking drama shit show happening with Biden and Trump. Like, this is just this is just I mean, look, you guys look, I remember the days, the days of Ronald Reagan and Bill Clinton and Barack Obama and the George Bushes and all that, right? None of these people, whether they were Republican or Democrat, none of them behaved like Trump. None of them. And none of their debates ever got as nasty as the ones that have gotten between Trump and Biden. And again, I think all that has to do with Trump, because Trump is an instigator. Trump is playing his Trump card, right? Trump is an actor, right? Trump is an actor, just like Reagan was, except Reagan never. I wasn't a big Reagan fan, but I would support Reagan. God rest his soul. I would support Reagan any day over Trump. Reagan was an actor, right? And again, even though my family and we weren't Reagan supporters, at least Reagan was professional. At least, even if Reagan was acting as the president, just like he was in Hollywood, at least he came off more professional than Trump. Trump is the most unprofessional sounding person I've ever encountered in my life. Did anyone hear about the contents of his daughter's diary about how Joe... Yeah, here's the thing, Richard T. None of that's ever been proven, right? Here's the thing. Until somebody is convicted and there's proof that all this happened, I don't believe half the shit that's put out there. So here's the thing. I'm not saying Biden's perfect. I'm sure him and his family have all made mistakes. Okay? Everybody makes mistakes. But some people take it a bit too far. Trump is one that takes it a bit too far. Oh, another thing. So they were asking him about the insurrection, right? On January 6th, right? They asked him about the insurrection on January 6th. And he danced around it. And he was trying to say that was what, Nancy Pelosi's idea? Like, seriously, Donnie. I mean, how delusional is this dude? He literally was saying, we're going to walk over to the Capitol, and he literally told people to go over there. He knew exactly where those people came from. He knew about the Proud Boys. He knew about all of them, right? And he was pissed off. He was pissed off because he lost the election. He was pissed off. Sandra, listen, even if he said it peacefully, you don't, as the current president of the U.S., like Biden said, he's a sore loser. He's a whiner. He was whining because he lost, because Trump has had everything handed to him, right? He's had all this money handed to him from his family. His dad was the rich person. See, all these people here on YouTube think that, like, I have all the family. I don't have any of my family's money. I don't have shit of their money. Trump actually got money from his family. I think he borrowed $1 million from his dad, and that's how he made his riches. I don't have $1 million from anyone. Very pretty view, Eli. Well, thank you so much. Hey, Kind Truth, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Great to see you here. Pelosi is funny. Yeah. Do we have a liberal in here? Kind Truth, are you more of a liberal? It doesn't matter. We're not judging people. Pablo, me personally, I'm not a fan of Trump or Biden. I'm also not a fan of NASA. I heard they made the Charles Darwin fan club, so congrats to them. Okay, cool. But he built on what he was given. Hey, like, good to see you too. Yeah, thank you, Kind Truth. I'll get back to that in a second, Sandra. It's a good point. No, I get what he said, Sandra. The bottom line is that, look, there's been never a president in history that lost re-election that started to immediately say there was widespread voter fraud. He started to sue people, states and counties, right? And he got Rudy Giuliani to do backhanded, underhanded shit that almost cost Giuliani his license. Like, seriously. And here's the thing. This is the reason why Trump did it, in my opinion. The reason why I think Trump did it, he knew he had lost the election. And he knew that his efforts of suing everyone wasn't going to change election results. He did it because it got him attention. And whatever it cost him out of pocket to sue, all he would do is write as a tax write-off, as a business expense, right? That's all he would do, right? So it didn't hurt him one bit, and it also kept him popular with his fans, right? Trump has a fan club. Like, here's the thing, Trump. If you want to have a fan club, like if you want to have your fan club and shit like that and preach to your choir, then so be it. You have the right to do that. But you can do that outside of the stage of the president. That's just my opinion. Trump did all this because it kept him in the spotlight. It's no different. This is why I compared this show to the drama groups on YouTube, especially Jamie. It's no different than Jamie intentionally whining and complaining like a little girl. That's what Trump did, in essence. He lost. He started whining like a little girl. He started suing everyone because he has the money, and then he used that all as a tax write-off, so he lost nothing, right? But he kept the spotlight on him. But what did it cost? What did it cost us and our government? A lot of wasted resources and time. What did it cost our country? It cost our country just a lot of unnecessary and unreasonable stress and chaos, right? And now Trump's bringing that to the debates here in 2024. So now Biden's like, fuck, I can't be professional anymore. If I sit here and just be professional, this guy's going to wipe the floor with me because of his crazy methods that somehow close to half the people in the country agree with. And that's the weird thing. This country is literally divided 50-50, right? This is going to be a close race. It's going to be another close race. I still think Biden's going to pull ahead because I think there are more people in this country that live on a moral high ground and are going to say, hey, look, if it wasn't for his felony convictions, 34 of them, right, then I would have voted for him. But I can't vote for someone that's been convicted of 34 felonies. What kind of an example is that going to show my kids, our kids, the future of our country? What kind of an example is that going to show? So you can commit 34 fucking felonies and still become the president of the U.S.? What kind of lesson does that teach people? Whether you're on the left or right, doesn't matter. That's an honest question. What kind of a lesson does that teach people? Trump will get rid of the illegals, which is what needs to happen. We are not the world's army, and we are here to house and feed the world. Let me tell you, Blues Girl. Let me tell you this. If you get rid of all the illegals that are working in the farmlands for peanuts, which is keeping our produce costs down, if you get rid of all the illegals and now you got to hire actual people to work in the produce fields and pay them top dollar and pay them benefits, your produce at the market will go up 400%. Okay? 400 fucking percent. You're not paying around $1.50 a pound for potatoes. You're going to be paying $6 a pound for potatoes if that happens. Do you folks, listen, I'm not trying to be mean. I love all of you, but do you have common sense to understand that as much as you want to get rid of all the illegals, how much the illegals are keeping your costs down at the supermarket? Have you taken that into consideration? Do you want to? So let me ask you this, Blues Girl. And I think you're from Canada anyway, so what does it matter to you? This doesn't affect you. Are you from Canada or are you from the U.S.? No, those are migrants who go back. Here's the thing. You folks that are saying get rid of the illegals, listen. I used to feel that way. And then I started to realize how much it affects our economy. You see, a lot of those illegals are being put through programs to gain citizenship. In the meantime, they're working off of some work visa, and a lot of them are just working undocumented, which is keeping our prices down at the supermarket. You see, the same people here that are complaining that we have too many illegals here are going to also complain that our produce has skyrocketed by 400%. I'm sorry to say this. I love all of you, but if you think that way, you're a hypocrite, right? Now, I think there should be a better way to do it. I mean, if we really want to keep them out or get them into a work program, and we have separate laws while they're becoming a citizen. So let's say that we totally lock down our borders, right? And we have border patrol, all across the Mexican-U.S. border, right? Let's say that we put a sky-high fence, electrocuted. You can't dig underneath. Let's say we hire enough, border patrol agents to watch the border, right? Okay. What could be done is say, hey, we could bring in a certain amount of immigrants from Mexico each month and put them into a work program. And let's say for the first 6 months, we have them work to bill on getting their visa. So we basically let them work in the same ways as an undocumented person, but while documenting their progress, right? That way we still get the cheap labor and we get to see, hey, are they worthy of being here? Are they going to be productive citizens of the U.S., right? And then after that, we can get them a work visa, keep them around longer, and then give them the opportunity, depending on how they do, while they're out here for a year or two, give them the opportunity to apply for citizenship. But here's the thing. Any way you look at it, those illegals are keeping the produce fees down at the supermarket. And a lot of you conservative folks are already complaining that the cost of the supermarket has gone up. It's gone up a little bit, but it hasn't really gone up as much as you think. For a little while, the price went up on eggs and all that. But guess what? Biden mentioned something like your bill has gone from like $110 to $120 at the supermarket. He's right. He's absolutely right about that. Now, that's a figure of speech saying that depending on how many people you have, you know, your bill is only going to be about 5 to 9% or 10% higher than it's been for inflation. We don't have enough housing for all that. The food is outrageous. What do you mean by that, T? I'm just curious. Cost at supermarkets is up due to gas and taxes too. Well, of course. Well, yes. All that affects it. But understand this, Blues Girl. If you get rid of the illegal aliens that are working the produce fields as day laborers with no insurance benefits, right? No overtime. They get paid maybe $50 a day, maybe $100 a day if they're lucky. Probably less. They probably get like $50 a day. That's really cheap labor. Do you know how much an American would want to work the fields for 8 hours a day? We would want at least $25, $30 an hour. Let's say $25 an hour. That's $200 a day plus benefits, right? And when you look at the cost of benefits, it basically, if you have somebody making $25 an hour at 8 hours a day, that's $200 a day, and the cost of benefits per day between insurance and paid time off and all that, and sick pay and all that, is going to be $300. So it's going to cost us to pay an American citizen $300 per day to do the same thing that someone's getting paid $50 to $100 as a day laborer. So do you see the difference there? Let's take $100 and then $100 for the day laborer and $300 a day with insurance, benefits and all that for the American employee. You're looking at it's going to cost at least three times as much to have an American work the produce fields. What does that mean? 3 times the cost, 3 to 4 times the cost at the supermarket. On top of gas prices and all that shit. Right? At Coach Eli 2, do you support giving U.S. citizenship to illegal aliens? If it's done the right way, yes. If it's earned and done the right way, yes. Do you understand, Richard T? The U.S., we are all immigrants here. Do you understand? My family immigrated here from Greece. I'm first generation Greek American, so I was born here. I'm a native of America, right? My native country is the U.S., but my family immigrated here. We are all fucking immigrants, dude. And I'm getting pissed off because we're all fucking immigrants here. And we're all whining and complaining over stupid shit. And we should all just be working together as a team to create better good for everyone. But yes, if people do it the right way and they earn their citizenship, absolutely. What if I wanted to leave the U.S. and go to Canada or go to, well, actually, I do have Canadian citizenship. My dad used to live there and got my family dual citizenship, so I could go to Canada. But what if I wanted to go to Mexico? What if I wanted to go to Europe? What if I wanted to go to the Philippines? Would I want them making it harder on me? So why make it hard on people that want to come here? All they have to do is do it the right way. It seems like to me, the conservatives, the blue-collar workers, the people that, I hate to say it, I'm not trying to be critical, and you have uneducated people on both sides. But the uneducated people, they don't understand. They don't get it. They don't get it. Funny in a terrible way, says Lucy. People who came over had work. They were not handed anything. Of course they weren't handed anything, Sandra. You're right, Sandra. I agree with, believe it or not, Sandra. I've known you've been a conservative for a long time. And you and I have gotten along for many years. We don't always agree on everything. But I actually understand most of what you're saying. I get where you're coming from. This is the thing. We should all be able to share our opinions and at the end of the day still be friends and try to find ways to make it better for everyone and not make it about left versus right. You know what I'm saying? I've been saying that for years. And that's why years ago, I didn't talk about this. I'll be honest, I was afraid to talk about it. I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want to piss anybody off. And then I got to the point of where I realized that you're not going to make it on YouTube or be a public figure unless you take a stance on politics. It's important. I hate it. I can't stand it. But if you don't take a stance on this, then no one's going to support you. Because then they're going to feel like, well, you know, do you care about your country? Do you care about what's going on? Current events, right? And I do care. So I started to realize I got to start to speak out on this stuff. At the same time, I've always put it out there and I've said, look, I understand my audience is primarily conservative or alt-right. I don't have the biggest liberal audience, but I'm not even trying to flex being liberal. Like, I'm just a slight left liberal. I'm more down the middle. Like, I actually understand some of what conservatives are saying and going through. And the things I don't understand, I respectfully disagree on. And I say, okay, yeah, that's cool. That's how you feel. It's all good. I don't want to take that from you. If that's how you feel, if that's, you know, what floats your boat, that's all good. There's a jackrabbit. Look at that. Jackrabbit there, and we've got a nice plane coming over here. Whoa, 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 whoa. We've got King Kind Truth No Lies. That's with the $9.99 super chat. Eli, you must realize there was voter fraud. Yeah, thank you for your super chat. Let me first start off by saying thank you for your super chat. I really appreciate it. And I want to say this as respectfully as possible. And I hope I don't offend you. I completely disagree. There was no widespread voter fraud. There was never any proof of it. They didn't prove anything. It was all a show that Donald Trump created because he knew he lost fair and square. And Trump's like, okay, if I'm going to lose, let me go out in style. Let me stir up the pot. Let me sue everyone and keep all eyes on me as a big shit show, right? Just like the drama people do out here on YouTube, right? When they lose an argument, they keep on just trashing the other person because it keeps all eyes on them, right? So this is more of a marketing ploy for Trump, right? And he's like, okay, I'll sue all these counties and states for widespread voter fraud, even though I'm going to probably lose and it's going to cost me money, it really won't cost me shit because I can just use this for tax write-offs as a business expense. That's what he did. Listen, Trump is not a dumb shit. Trump is not a dumb shit. He's actually a very smart businessman. What I don't like about him is he does a lot of business shady stuff. He does a lot of stuff that's shady for business, I mean. So he's very smart when it comes to business. He has a great business sense. I just don't like how he plays people and manipulates people and leads people to believe whatever he's saying is gospel. There was no, where's the proof? Where was the proof of widespread voter fraud? Again, thank you for your super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I don't agree there was voter fraud. I'm sorry, T. I respectfully disagree on that. Respectfully. I don't want to offend you or anyone. I don't want to offend you or anyone. This is why, I did this topic because Richard T. wanted me to do it. And I don't want to offend anyone. Because at the end of the day, I have love for all of you. And I'm really tired of our country being the divided states of America. We're supposed to be the United States of America, right? We're supposed to be the United States of America. And we're divided. And this whole Trump thing is creating more division. And it just breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinions, right? Everyone's entitled to their opinions. I don't believe anything until I see proof. I don't believe anything until I see proof. That's why a lot of things, while I was handling, because if you guys haven't noticed, those of you that have been around for a while, that drama group, the Legion group, Jamie, they've really started to back off, at least for now, and I hope it's permanent. They really are starting to ice me out, which is what I've wanted. It's all good. I appreciate that. All right? I forgot where I was going with this. I totally forgot where I was going with this. I forgot there was something I was going to say that related to Trump regarding Jamie and how things were run. It's just very similar in nature. Oh yeah, I remember now. Okay, all the stuff that they were accusing me of, I had to prove that they were lying, and I had to also prove that a lot of them that were on fake accounts were actually Jamie. I had to prove all that. I worked hard, and I didn't accuse anyone of anything until I had solid proof. And obviously I had solid proof, and what happened? They had nowhere left to run with this, so now they're gone. They're icing me out. Look, if somebody to this day can furnish proof that there was widespread voter fraud, and that's why Trump lost, then even myself, as a Biden supporter, would say, yeah, you know what? There's the proof. You can't deny that, right? Honestly, I'm not here to say Biden is a saint. I'm not here to live and die Biden. I support him because I feel he's the best man for the job, and I think he's a lot more honest than Trump ever has been, in my opinion. Do I think Biden has done some stuff? Who hasn't? Everyone's done shady shit in the government. That's how they move up. It's inevitable. You have to do shady shit to move up nowadays. I hate to admit that. I'm not one. That's why it's taken me a while to grow this thing, because I can't do anything shady. I can't. It's not in my heart and soul. But when it comes to Biden and Trump, Biden's shadiness, that's funny. Trump's shadiness trumps Biden's shadiness like 5-1 or 10-1. Trump is way more shady than anything that Biden's ever done that's shady. Has Biden done some shady shit? I'm sure. Yeah, a lot of the stuff you guys are saying, some of it's probably true, but a lot of it hasn't been proven. The stuff with Trump has been proven. And then Trump is saying, oh, well, you indicted me for all this stuff. Well, listen, Trump, if things were on, listen, if Biden was on the flip side and you were in office on the flip side, you would have indicted Biden as well, Trump. So why are you pissed off that he indicted you? To use you as the example of what not to be. The President of the United States needs to set the example for all Americans and and the future of our country, our children, man. What kind of fucking example does this set for our children? Seriously. Trying to prove that the DC swamp was involved in voter fraud is like getting Dracula to investigate theft from blood bank. So what you're saying, Larry, which I unbanned you, I'm glad that you saw that. The rogue mod is gone. What you're saying, Larry, is that this widespread voter, I can't even talk, this widespread voter fraud BS was BS, right? Is that what you're saying, Larry? Biden is the best president America has ever seen. Trevor Phillips. Do you want to know something? Do you want to know something? I probably would agree with you on that. I think between, listen, there are 3 presidents that I think did a lot for our country. Even though one of them did bang Monica Lewinsky in the Oval Office. So, Bill Clinton, he balanced our deficit. That was his accomplishment when he was in office. He screwed up when he banged Monica Lewinsky. And his wife forgave him, and they've been okay ever since. I mean, now, as far as cheating, I would never forgive someone, but you know, that's him. And many people do forgive at least one time. And then you had Obama, who I thought was a phenomenal president, the first African-American president, right? So Obama, what he did for us was create Obamacare and the Affordable Health Care Act, which without that, there would be many people that would not have insurance and could not afford insurance, right? Even if you're an entrepreneur, you can make up to 4 times the poverty level and qualify for Obamacare, for the Affordable Health Care Act, and earn federal tax credits to help pay your premium. You know what premiums cost per month for insurance normally? They cost anywhere from like $700 to $1,000 per month on average. And through Obamacare, through federal tax credits, a lot of times you get the cost under $100 per month. That's very affordable. What's not affordable for most people is paying $700 or $1,000 a month for insurance. If you're working at a job that doesn't offer insurance, or if you're self-employed, you got to buy your own insurance. Now, if you're making more than 4 times the poverty level, you can afford to pay full price for insurance. But if you're not, then you should be able to have insurance, just like people have in Canada. They have universal health care. Now, having universal health care might have been a better thing, but this was the next best thing. Obama started the Affordable Health Care Act, and it's been phenomenal. And because of it, I'm able to afford insurance. And so is Don. Now, Then you have Joe Biden, who handled the pandemic so quickly and gracefully. The COVID-19 pandemic was the biggest outbreak of a disease, of an infectious disease, I think, since back in the days of the Black Plague and all that shit, right? And it's amazing to me. You know, we had to wait for about 3 to 6 months to start really, getting the vaccines. First, we had to create the vaccines. We had to do enough testing to create the vaccine that would fight this. You had companies like Pfizer and what was the other one? Moderna, I think. I can't remember what the other one was. Moderna and Pfizer, right? Was the other one Moderna? Somebody remind me. Pfizer is the one that Don and I took. Pfizer's a great freaking company. I can't get a primary now because none available. What do you mean? A primary care physician, Blues Girl? Are you saying that you have insurance? Well, you're in Canada, right? You have universal health care there, don't you? Why can't you get a primary care physician? As long as you don't mind letting us voice our opinions and facts. You can voice your opinions I wouldn't necessarily call things facts if they're opinions are opinions, and facts have to be proven. I'm stating my opinions here. I'm not stating one single thing as a fact. I'm stating strong opinions. You can do that, but unless you have proof, unless something has been proven to be factual, you can't say it as a fact. No one can say there was widespread voter fraud because it was never proven as a fact. There was nothing ever found that showed even the slightest attempt at voter fraud. So how can you call that a fact when it was never proven? That's an opinion, and you're entitled to yours, like I'm entitled to mine. My opinion is there never was. Your opinion is that it happened, right? Blues Girl, you don't look up a doctor in the yellow pages here and make an appointment. They must accept you. Excuse me, Blues Girl, you don't know the medical system here in the U.S. They have to accept you here, too. The way it works here in the U.S., see, in Canada, you have universal health care, okay? Here, it depends on, what your insurance provider provides. See, different insurance providers offer different healthcare packages, and they insure different healthcare providers and facilities. So as long as the healthcare provider, as long as the insurance company insures those medical facilities along with those doctors at the medical facility, then you can apply. And the PCP will either accept you or not. Now, some PCP is short for primary care physician. The PCP has to have enough space to take you. They're not going to overbook themselves, right? But what you do, like Don and I have Blue Cross, what you do is you go in there and you can search for a medical facility and a doctor and a primary care physician within 5 to 10 miles of where you're at. You can go as far as 20 or 30 miles or greater, but you want to keep it as close as possible. And then what you do is you get the information and you call You call the medical facility, or you call the doctor's office. Some of them are private doctors. Some of them work in a medical facility with multiple doctors, and they're run as nonprofit organizations. Like Kaiser's one of them. Palo Alto Medical Foundation is another one here that I'm a part of, etc. And you call them and you say, hey, is Dr. blah, blah, blah still accepting new patients as a PCP? Yes, they are. Okay, we'd like to sign up. And they'll either do it on the phone and email, or you can go do it in person. Don and I went and did it in person. We went and did it in person, and boom, literally, she was accepted right there. You know, when you go in person, they'll tell you right there what's available, what's not. Yes, this doctor is still taking new patients, and you're in. We have no opinions. I am on a list and have to take the first one. No options if I like it or not. Well, maybe that's a part of how you're in Canada, right, Blues Girl? You have universal health care. And I don't know exactly how that works. I think your government pays for your health care out of the taxes. So there's probably not even any insurance companies, health insurance companies in Canada. And I believe it's all paid for by the government and tax dollars, right? As part of universal health care, right? You're part of universal health care in Canada. Say yes or no, because I want to make sure. It's probably a bit easier in the city areas. Are you in Canada, Blues Girl? I thought you said you were in Canada. Okay, so you have universal health care, right? My dad used to live in Canada for a while. Canada's had universal health care for a while. When Obama went into office, he wanted to provide something as close to universal health care as possible and created the Affordable Health Care Act, which is way better than we ever had. I'll tell you that. Because if it wasn't for the Affordable Health Care Act, I'd literally be paying $700 to $1,000 a month for health insurance that I couldn't afford. I'm paying much less than that because of federal tax credits. You have universal health care, and maybe it works different because it's based off the government and tax dollars, so you got to take what you can get. So maybe you are. But how old are you, and why don't you already have let me ask you this, Blues Girl. Why don't you already have a primary care physician? Did you just never have a doctor? You just finally decided to get one? Like, did they not offer you a doctor at a younger age? I'm sure they did. Was it your choice to just start finally looking into universal health care? I cannot see shit here. Because moved to a different part of Ontario. Oh, so basically you're trying to change your doctor. But you can still keep your older doctor until you get the new one, right? The only problem is it could be hundreds of miles away. In Canada they call it kilometers, right? So it's hundreds of kilometers away. So you moved. You're looking to change your doctor. You should have probably started to make the change long before, because I'm sure you knew that you were moving for a long time. And you probably waited till after you moved or at the last minute to do the change, which it happens. I get it. I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to snap at you for everything. I'm just saying, like, when these things happen, you gotta start to tackle them right away. Like the moment you knew you were gonna move, You should have thought of, okay, it's going to take me a while to switch over my health insurance through universal health care. I better change it now. So by the time I do move, it'll either be already set or pretty close to it, right? I get it. Eli, when you make the change, you have to dismiss the old doc to get a new one. Well, of course you do. Of course you do. It's the same thing here in the U.S. But here's the thing. Here in the U.S., the moment that you remove your old primary care physician, you can get a new one right away. So I'm sure the stipulation for universal health care is, okay, let me go ahead and let me process this change. Maybe there's a website for it. You go to the website and you say, I've moved. I no longer want this primary care physician, right? And I want this one, but there's a waiting list. So what's going to happen is they'll keep you with the old one until the new one takes you. Once the new one takes you, they'll remove the old one. They can't remove your old provider and then put you on a fucking waiting list for a year with no coverage or no. That's not the way it works. No. What I think happens is, yes, they'll remove the old one to give you the new one, but they won't remove your old one until the new one fully accepts you. You understand that? There's no way they're going to do that to you. Well, what kind of an insurance plan would that be? What kind of universal health care would that be? That's kind of like leaving you stranded on the side of the road. Okay, well, I know how it works here. Sorry. No, well, if that's the way it works, then your system sucks. If that's the way universal health care works in Canada, so you move, you got to give up your other provider and have zero coverage. And if you get injured or something major happens until the new one takes you, that could be 6 months or a year, then you're fucked. Is that what you're saying? That's a shitty system. That's not how it works here in the U.S. So I'm going to look into it because it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to force you to remove your old provider and then put you on a waiting list before you get your new one approved, and in the meantime you have no fucking coverage, no health coverage. No, that doesn't sound right. I'm sorry, Blues Girl. And if that's how it is, then your system fucking sucks ass. It does. It does. Yes, please do look into it. I'd be happy to help you because I do sell. I'm not actively selling, but I'm a licensed property and casualty and life and health insurance broker here in the U.S. I don't know Canadian law, but I'll do my research. I'll tell you what, I'll do my research because I understand insurance in general. But I care about you. I do. I care about all of you. I care about all of you. Look, if there's something that I can share that'll help you folks out. Like, I love helping people. I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. I don't care if you're blue or red or purple. It doesn't matter. I love all of you. If I can help somebody, it doesn't matter. And the one takeaway we should all take from today's show is that we're all entitled to our opinions. Nothing less, nothing more. We're all entitled to our opinions. Nothing less and nothing more. I'll tell you, the breeze is amazing. It feels like it's like 75 right now. It feels really cool right here, like air conditioning, man. And we've had a big heat wave. Like when I was at the house earlier, it was freaking hot. It was just freaking hot. We don't have ACs, we don't have AC, but we had fans blowing. Whew, man. I gotta tell you, man, it's beautiful. Yes, everyone sees things differently. People should accept each other's opinions. Now, walk-in clinic and ER is free. Oh, okay. So walk-in clinic and ER is free. So basically, if you had an emergency, Blues Girl, you can go to the ER and you're covered. So you really have nothing to worry about. You're just talking about a primary care physician regarding preventative maintenance, like cancer and having mammograms and having colonoscopies and having all that shit. Well, the colonoscopy is literally literally a test of your ass, of your asshole. That is, you know what I mean? I'm sorry. I'm trying to make this kind of funny because it's technically boring stuff. So so you gotta at least make it entertaining to a certain extent, right? Hang on a second here. Jig Walk. We have great insurance through my wife's workplace. Yeah, that's what my dad had. My mom worked for the government, the San Mateo County clerk's office. She was a divorce clerk for 25 years. So she had the government has the best insurance. Everything is covered. And my mother hardly took any sick days. She would take her vacation days, but she never took really maybe one or two sick days in the 25 years she worked. And she accrued so many sick days that basically she used that money um, because once you retire, you have a small, you still have the same insurance, but you have a small fee to pay. You have like the copay, right? And her insurance is paid. She's like 70, she's 73 right now. Her insurance is paid until she's like 87 or something, or 88. It's all paid for, and after then, it's a small fee. So yeah, if you're married and your spouse has good benefits, then they can put you on their insurance, and you're good. But yeah, you're gonna pay your copay through your company. Like your company's gonna take your deduction for you off your check, right? And here's the thing: see, this is what Obamacare is very similar as to what a company offers, because a company is gonna charge you based on your insurance plan anywhere from like 10, 20, up to like 100, $150 a month as a deduction for your insurance benefits. But you don't know what they're paying. What they're paying is $1,000+ a month for your insurance. So it's the same thing that you're getting through the Affordable Health Care Act, except most of it's being subsidized by your employer. Now, depending on how much money you make, the less money you make, the more the federal government subsidizes you in the same ways an employer would through federal tax credits. So that's how it works. So, I'll tell you this. I'm going to look into it, Blues Girl, because I honestly think the Affordable Health Care Act here in the U.S., Obamacare, is better than universal health care. And here's the thing. Most plans here, they have an out-of-pocket maximum that's pretty low. So Dawn's out-of-pocket maximum is $3,000 a year. After $3,000, she pays no copays. So we've already paid that already because she's had a lot of medical care. So we paid that within the first few months. She had an emergency hospital visit, and we paid that. And now all of her medication and doctor's visits and any ER visit or urgent care is 100% covered, no copay, until the end of the year. So insurance is very important, especially when you get older. Insurance is very important. I hope they speak English, LOL. Jigwalk, you don't even need insurance in the USA if you go to the emergency room. Just pretend you speak no English and have no identification. Jigwalk, you're probably right on that, dude, but that's a really shitty way to live life, right? Because guess who pays for the undocumented insurance or the insurance fraud? You and I pay for it through our insurance premiums. The reason, a big reason why insurance premiums are so high, a huge reason, is insurance fraud, just like that. I know you didn't mean it in that way, Jigwalk, and I respect you. I'm just saying, I'm a big stickler against insurance fraud. If everybody See, if every person was legitimate in this world, then things would be affordable for everyone across the board. The problem is we have too many fraudsters, too many people playing the system. And the people that are not playing the system are the ones that are paying more than they should to cover the ones that are. It's pretty fucking shitty, you know what I mean? It is what it is, though. Not worth complaining. Maybe one day it'll change. Who knows? I hope you get on soon, Blues Girl. Of course. Kind True, thank you again for your $9.99 super chat. But please unban my main account, host. I've been a supporter and I super chatted, but I got banned when you were mad about some other stuff. Well, who are you? Disregard my name, please. It was just an alt made for another channel. I don't know who you are. Oh, you're a no, sir? Fine, I'll unban you later tonight, dude, and give you a chance. It's no problem. We have great... Okay, let me see. I'm going back here because I can see the chat here better. Richard T., what is your premium for Obamacare? Mine is $500 a month. That's too expensive, dude. How in the hell is yours $500 a month? How in the hell is yours $500 a month? I'm not going to share exactly what my premium is because sharing your premium allows people to figure out what your income level is. And I'm not going to do that for that reason, Richard T. What I am going to say is that that means you're making pretty good money through multiple income sources. That's all I'm going to say. So if you're, see, basically you probably have, your federal tax credits are probably around $400 to $500 a month, right? Well, some people can get what's called Medicare. Now, if that's something that if Dawn gets written off the disability, then she can go on Medicare. But I don't even know if we would put her on Medicare because we really like the plan she's on with Blue Cross. It's not that expensive. But yeah, I'm not going to answer the question of the premium because sharing what our premium is going to basically kind of share the kind of income we have. But, you know, in many cases, people, depending on the type of plan you have, each plan costs more. You may have a better plan. You could probably get a lower end plan and pay under $100 or pay a couple $100 or $250. You're probably just choosing a really good plan for that. Do they still do the tax penalties for people with no insurance? I don't think you're legally required to have health insurance in the U.S. You have to have car insurance. You have to have car insurance legally. As far as health insurance goes, I believe you don't have to legally have it. My taxes pay for it. Our taxes are much higher. Well, of course, because your taxes are paying for universal health care. Basically, you guys are paying insurance premiums into your government's tax system, and your government is the insurer for the provider. That's all it is. It's just, look, any way you look at it, someone has to pay for it, right? And it comes out of someone's pocket, right? And basically, all insurance does is it pools money together because they figured that, you know what, not everyone's going to use insurance all the time. If everyone pulls into it or buys into it, and only 20% of the people use it regularly, then it's going to be sustainable. You get what I'm saying? That's the way the system works. But in your case, the government in Canada is the insurance provider. So you're basically paying into your insurance. You're paying insurance premiums to your government through tax payments, right? It's just however your country does it. It's the same thing here, except except we go directly to the insurance provider, and then we get federal tax credits from the federal government, depending on our income level, and we qualify for federal tax credits up to four times up to four times the income of the poverty level. Gotta run. Have a great night, Eli and chat. Thank you for being here, and thank you again for the 999 super chat. Kind truth. I really appreciate you super chatting, despite having a difference of opinion. That says a lot about your character. You know, when somebody comes here and sends a super chat or donates, when my opinions are opposite and we can respectfully disagree and learn from each other, I appreciate that. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Kind truth. That really says a lot about your character. Thank you so much. Hey, Bree, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Great to see you here. You've been on the waiting list for 2 years? Wow, that's crazy. Let me see here. Blues Girl, I go to the walk-in clinic and oddly, I have a GI doc because I was in the hospital, but no primary. Well, Don just saw a GI doctor recently. You should have a primary that basically directs you to any specialist doctor, like a GI doctor, a neuro doctor, like for what do you call it, seizures and all that. And then there's the foot doctor when Dawn sprained her ankle. When she broke her ankle. The primary care physician basically refers you off to the right doctor, and if it's within the same network, like we're a part of the Palo Alto Medical Foundation, they have every doctor on site, and they have different locations all over the Bay Area. And there's even one like right down the street from us, and then the one that we go to is in the South Bay. Still only like a 20-minute drive. All right, folks. GLM says it's interesting how no one is conservative where me and Eli live, but everyone is conservative on YouTube. Right. You know what? Let me wrap up by saying that GLM. A lot of people have discredited me over the years. And a lot of the reasons why I couldn't build an audience until now is because there is a much larger conservative audience on the internet and YouTube. There's a much larger active conservative, Republican audience on YouTube and the internet. And I've chalked it up to the fact that a lot of the liberals, are staying away from, a lot of the BS rhetoric that happens online regarding politics. And if you notice, a lot of the liberals that do YouTube channels don't even talk about politics. They're doing beauty channels, they're doing vlogging, they're doing other things, right? But the people that are speaking out on politics are primarily conservatives. And I think it's because I think a lot of conservatives have been feeling over the years, over the decades, like they've been, suppressed, right? Like, a lot of the conservatives feel like, it's always been about the liberal agenda and, blah, blah, blah. It's all about, white collar work instead of blue collar work. And I'm not saying that there aren't any conservatives that do white collar work, but a lot of conservatives, especially back in the Midwest and the South, they do more blue collar work. And more of the liberals will do the white collar work. For me, I mean, I'm not trying to be judgmental. This is just what I've seen. And so you've got, you've got like two different worlds, right? You've got white collar and you've got blue collar. And quite frankly, like I love everyone. I love blue collar people and white collar people. But I just noticed if you look at the numbers, there are more liberal white collar workers than blue collar workers, and there are more conservative blue collar workers than white collar workers. And from what I've just seen, it's always been like, oh, okay, well we're blue collar, conservatives. We're not, we're not at the level of the white collar liberals, and we're not as smart, and we just, we're not worthy. And you know what? That's not the case. That's not the case. And so you have a lot of whiny, conservative people. Not all of them. I listen. I'm not saying this is everyone. I respect the good conservatives and the good liberals, and I have issues with bad conservatives and bad liberals. But what I'm saying is, this is what I've seen. I've just seen a lot of conservative blue collar people just lash out at liberals just for living a good lifestyle, having a white collar job, and being more successful than them. And then that's why I think a lot of the liberals are staying away, because they don't want to, they want to have a legitimate conversation with the conservatives, but that's just not how they're treated. That's my opinion. You folks share me your opinion either here now or on the replay or the next time we do this. So we've got a lot of people coming over here, so I'm just gonna wait. I disagree with that totally. What are you talking about? Blues girl, who are you disagreeing with? Jigwork, I'm not a Republican or Democrat. I'm a true centrist. Well, I respect that, dude. I really do. Lots of white-collar conservatives in the East and South. Well, from what you've seen. Well, I've been doing this for a long time in the real world and online. I've dealt with a lot of people, probably way more than you have, Blues Girl. I'm not trying to discredit you. Maybe what you've seen a lot of white-collar people that are conservative. I'm not saying there aren't any white-collar conservatives. There are. But what I said earlier has been my experience lifelong, and including the last 6+ years being out here on YouTube. But I got to go, folks. 44 in the box, $9.99. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Kind truth. Thank you to everyone else for being here. Love you all. I don't know when I'll be back next. Probably not later tonight. Maybe at some point tomorrow. I've got a lot of work to do. Tomorrow's 4th of July, so be safe and sane, okay? Stay in tomorrow if you can. I'll probably do an early walk tomorrow. And then in the evening, Don and I will probably we might do a live stream to broadcast the fireworks from our place, because we have a good view of the fireworks from where we're at that are shot in Redwood City. And the fireworks that are shot here in Redwood City are actually shot over here at Bear Island, over the water. Actually, they're on the other side over there where the actual, you know where their observation deck is at? That area is where they're shot over. So please smash thumbs up. Yeah, only 6 thumbs up. Gee, thank you, folks. Appreciate that. So many people here, and you don't even care to hit the thumbs up. That's really kind of you. But anyway, yeah, Blues Girl, thank you for being here. Thank you to everyone else for being here. Love you all. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other.